Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Y como siempre, from Dakota, I want to thank everybody for you guys' words, prayers, and your amazing support. Muchas gracias. Now, to get into the story in hand, I want to touch on a story that, it touches on where I'm at on my story, as well as it touches on something I try to put out a lot, which is, all that mindset or thought that you could actually earn brownie points with these individuals for something you do, even in the system from yard to yard, how it's just a myth, it's a lie, and how you could ruin your whole life, and at the end of the day, it could be considered something bad, and you will get removed or put on that side everybody hates to talk or be on, right? But anyways, I wanna in this one touch up on a good camarada, real good camarada. Please keep that in mind as I'm touching on it, on the story and all. Now I thought I was making a right decision where in my head I was gonna earn something with the individual that actually counted, which was the Pili Mosca. It was my way to actually be mentioned to him, which at this time I was green and I thought that was the right thing to do and the purpose. Again, I used to fool myself, and most of all, I used to allow dichos y diretes, he said, she said stuff to guide my actions, right? But okay, first off, I want to talk about, like I mentioned, I was leaving San Quentin in the chapters of my story, so I want to go back a little bit to where I did that movida on solo from San Fe. As you guys know, or I had said, it came from Güero that it was a favor to be done to Mosca. At first they came up with this story that Homeboy had smoke on him, that he had done something negative towards a Pili on the streets. So of course, as I said, when they came around in the junta, I lifted my hand and I said I would do it. And I even went beyond and said I would do it solo when the individual was in a small cat, right? He had size on him, and what he looked like he could actually do his thing is why I went about it the way I mentioned I did. But at this, like I said, I was real green because I didn't know the proper steps. I really believe that it is why after this, Raul actually sat me down, came out with who he was, and started schooling me because he seen that the way I did it was something that was gonna lead me to my wreck. Because in reality, it don't matter who it comes from. You gotta at least see that I'm a pil that comes from the pili, stating these are his orders. Or when it comes to a rata or violin, whatever, you need to see the black and white, stating so. It's just the smart thing to do to cover yourself. And I didn't do none of that. They just told me it was a personal favor for a pili, and me being young and dumb, I jumped on it. No questions asked, nada. Just simply point me to where it needs to be dealt with, and I went ahead and did it. But again, Raul never said nothing of this. He just sat me down and started smacking my ears back, right, on certain things I was doing. And, anyways, to fast forward from this incident, as time went by, before I left San Quentin, my name had already circled Mosca. You know, Raul got a terco as a personal favor if I ever landed on his yard that I met something for Raul, you know, to please keep an eye on me as to other pilis. It is why eventually, I got to a certain place and had a little bit more knowledge, and even though I wasn't there, Terco still put me on front line on an 8 yard in Ironwood, right? Plus, there's a couple pillies back there in the hole, and I got there. I did a favor for also, and well, anyways, as I would touch on my story, on my chapters, but anyways, on this yard there was a cool camarada, Marquillo from Sanford. Homeboy been around. I mean, he was slammed in the bay. He got out under that inactive. He came and had a different yard, excuse me, on in Ironwood. And as you guys know, it's a lot of scary people. So they eventually dropped that Urraca stuff on him, and he got rolled out and got kicked out to AR. So of course, he was highly recommended. So right away he joined the Mesa, and he was real cool. I used to enjoy when we strolled around, and I learned a lot from Homeboy, because I went backwards. You know, I came to realize when I sat down with Raul that the only way to do things in the system was to actually stop being impulsive and actually take any older camarada or one that had ground on him in the system, whatever came out from him, listen, analyze, and stick to what you feel is right. As Gallo starts going by, you eventually start really taking in what you need to. But Maquillo was a good homie in the sense that he wasn't one of those high powers. He like talking about different things, clowning around, XX thing. So 1 yard, we're having a junta because it was a camarada was being brought up in the junta that he basically was doing some things that needed to be met with a discipline. So we were sitting there and we're trying to figure out what's the correct discipline to go ahead and give the camarada. Because the last thing you want is discipline a camarada in the yard, and him and two other camaradas get caught for it, and then you end up losing 3 soldados. So we were trying to go about it the right way. So when everything was said and done, and we had agreed to what was going to happen, I seen Maquillo apagado, quiet, not being himself. So afterwards, I told him, hey, let's go take a lap. Let's walk around, get some air. So as we started circling around, I asked him, straight up, ¿qué onda? Everything good? And at first he tried to deny it, like, I told him, nah, homie, what's up? You have shown me support, and if I could assist you, I will. So basically he said, nah, there ain't nothing you could really assist me with here, but I thought, and what was happening, Marquillo had a lot of love from his neighborhood. He had a brother that was real active on the calles, and they were moving, work. And the thing was that for being in his barrio, they were kicking down Mosca. What was the correct thing to kick down a pili out of respect? Because at this time it was still not implemented as it is now, which it was mandatory, right? It was show me respect, show me some love, and that's it. Especially when you had a pili from your own neighborhood there, right? And it is where we all make mistakes, assuming that these individuals get to the pedestal and are still gonna maintain that barrio love, that homie love, that should be there, but it ain't there once they reach there. Mosca, I don't need to say, he was one of the worstest one. Greedy, selfish, and he wanted his hands on everything and anything. But when it came to his barrio, it seemed like it's a thing to do. They get up there and the people they target the most is their own neighborhood. Which to me, it is why nothing I did in there was with the objective to get anywhere, right? To me, that's brincacharcos. That's actually leaving your thing to get into something different, right? Especially when you take that to heart, where you're gonna minimize what you were. You're gonna use and abuse those that you got jumped into for life. But anyways, that's maybe just me, right? But he was telling me that now Mosca was requesting on him half of everything that gets moved from him, his homies, and his carnal. Which that don't make no sense. Cause again, the one doing all the footwork, setting up the avenues, getting the Hollywood, paying, risking it, it was them. For them just to give up 50% off the bat, it's just something that, you know, that's not right, period. You know, so Maquillo didn't know what action to do, which one of them was stop doing it, period, you know. Which if the Billy was smart, he wouldn't go to that extent because he's going to end up losing too. Whatever he's getting now, if Maquillo and his crew stopped, it was over. Not even a little bit, right? But every Billy has a backup plan, you know. They're not going to push without expecting this to happen, and they have a way to circle things back around to their benefit. It's how the gatos work. So, I asked him what was he gonna do, and he just said he was gonna think about it, right? So as we're circling around, um, the solo incident always stuck with me, right? Because as I went along learning, I myself realized that I had made a mistake, big time, that could have cost me or that could cost me my career later down the line, right? Because just because it happened a couple years back, don't mean they're not gonna surface in the future. So I asked him, hey, your homeboy Solo? Yeah, yeah. He told me his last name, and it's scandalous what happened to him. And I asked him, why is that? So he basically told me the whole story on how Güero and Mosca had thrown him under the bus. Had no reason to have him hit. What had happened was Mosca wanted a Solo sister to be with him and start going up to the bay to see him and relaying messages and basically be his arms and legs, right, on the streets when it came to back and forth on messaging. But the Jaina said chales. So then it was asked of Solo to make his sister do it, right? And Solo couldn't. He just don't know if he pushed. I don't know. That's between Solo and his sister. But Solo said chales, he ain't gonna do it. So back in these days, a sureño had rights. You could say no, even though you knew that was your butt. Because even in that moment you say no, and it's gonna be like, all right, homie, gracias. They're gonna go back and do their tecato thing and politic against you to the point where they're gonna wash you up. At this time, they weren't out in the open the way they are now. Now they just do it all straight in front of anybody and don't care. Back then, they were worried about that. So basically, they brought this whole story up and they found the biggest pendejo, right, which was myself, that lifted my hand. They didn't ask questions. They didn't ask for paperwork and handle business. And you know what? The only thing that saved me, that Solo was so hurt that his own homeboy, his big homie, as someone said in the comments about Bet, that's my big homie, and was disrespecting. That's what Solo felt. But his big homie had him whacked over BS. Not cause of what he had done, not cause what he was in prison, not what he has done for his neighborhood. That Mosca said, miss me with all that. You can't force your family member to do what I want. You're gone. So Solo, he ended up checking in. And I think it's why, in some sense, it never surfaced on me, right? Because there was no paperwork there. I took an action against a camarada, and when push came to shove, Mosca wasn't going to back my play. When they started asking the tough questions, he was going to do what most of them do. I don't know what he's talking about. He took actions on his own, and that would have been my butt, right? But anyways, going back to Marquillo, I didn't tell Marquillo that it was me that moved on him on solo or nothing like that, man. Anyways, we left it open like that, As a little bit went by, I actually, it's when I did that with the Maravilla, then with Homer from Chivas, and it's when I started rotating towards the hole and shoe and the XX. But as I was into HB shoe, I actually, there was a good camarada, Shy from Sanford. So, again, I thought of Maguillo as a righteous homie, So I asked him, and to the dot, Mosca was true to his scandalous ways, his staccato ways, right? He did not get his way, so what did he do? He had Maquillo's brother moved on the streets, and Maquillo was so hurt inside that he decided to move on to the other side, which is understandable if you really think about it, right? Now, I'm not making excuses for the vatos there or that go out that way. Again, I don't believe in none of that. But when you have your own homeboy being scandalous with you because he figures he's better than you, that he's trying not just to get in your pocket more than you in his pocket. And if you don't agree with it, he's going to have your own family member hit, remove, consider basura, and you're going to still stay true to them. I mean, you can't blame the guy either, right? Again, I'm not co-signing for none of that, right? But I mean, if we're gonna look at things, let's look at things from every angle. So mainly, this is what I want to put on here is for all those on the calles thinking you could actually earn something that's gonna have value on the in pinta to earn your stripes with these individuals. It don't happen like that, you know. I thought I was earning something with Mosca. If I would have gone into a different yard where a Pili did not agree with that action, that would have been my butt. Because not only does what you do from the streets in count, what you do from yard to yard, at least when it comes to the causa, has no meaning. If you do something negative, it's gonna follow you. But what you do for a Pili on one yard, when you get to a different yard, that Pili on that yard don't want to hear what you were doing for this individual. And those are facts. Why? Because they dislike each other. They're trying to be better than each other. They don't want to hear another Pili is doing things on his yarda. So stop wasting your time, or stop hearing those individuals that call themselves homeboys from the barrio, but get out and just, you know, uh, talk a good one, lie to you, mislead you to where it's where you have to go earn your points. There's nothing to earn in prison, but go in there and bow your head and allow the individual to step on you. A big old tecato that's just gonna look for the benefit of his vena, not you, and sure, not the causa no more. Do something righteous, Before you have anything, you gotta always just value yourself, be true to yourself. But anyways, mi gente, someone asked me to go ahead and just touch a little bit on my current health, so I got appointments on the 19th, 20th, 22nd, on the 29th to see my ex-action. Not this following week, but the following I get another chemo treatment. I've been steady, I haven't felt like 100% because I can't be 100% right with the pain and being semi-paralyzed and all that, but I've been feeling okay, thank you God. So little by little, all I pray for right now is not to have another brain stroke because I need those surgeries in my head, but pray to God that I'm able to resist the chemo. So that my heart resists the chemo. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was already doing chemo and I had to stop because my heart couldn't take it. So after the two procedures in my heart, it is why we restarted chemo in the hopes that I'm able to actually take it this time. So I got 4 more. So, but everything's good. thank you, God, I'm still here. And as I'm going through my doctors, you guys know I will keep you guys in touch on, or aware of things. Not because, I want to put out any type of pity towards me. Don't ever feel pity for me, please. Because when you feel pity for someone is, or sorry for someone is, to me, should, at least that way I think that should never be done. Care, love, see another person better in a better situation. But God is so amazing. Everyone remember, March has came and gone, and I'm still given the opportunity to wake up every day, to even be on here, extending my respects, my blessings to you guys. Man, what more could I ask God for? I'm not in a cell no more. I don't have the only thing to look at is a concrete wall. I'm not taking BS from no tecato, nobody, period. So, I'm loved and blessed by God every day. It is those things we have to pay attention to. I'm not that individual that complains because of something that happened. I actually get down and thank God for it to happen and for allowing me to be alive, to be able to feel it happening. But anyways, mi gente, with this said, I want to send my love to you guys. Please stay true to yourself, loyal to your loved ones, and again, just stay smart, everyone. Mis saludos, muy buenas noches.